Alright everybody, welcome to the 8th tutorial in charting in single case research. In the last tutorial we finished up the final elements of a simple line chart, and right now we're going to review the process of doing a more advanced form of a line chart. This type of plot is more advanced, mainly in terms of the number of data series in here. In here we see that there's really just two types of data we're comparing, and in this one there are 5 different types of data to compare. So let's start with that. So here is the more advanced plot we used as an example before. And here's the default type of plot that Excel would give you if you just supplied that same data right to the standard type of methods. And we see that there aren't really any markers in here. It gets kind of messy down here where some of the blues are kind of similar, and really just it doesn't look like a very professional type of plot. So what we're going to do is we're going to go about making a chart like this from scratch. So we'll just slide that down here, and we'll actually just delete this. Here is the data that we were hoping to use from before. Right now I'm going to delete these NAs, and I'll show you why they were there in a minute. Alright, so just like a simple line plot, we're going to tell Excel that we want to insert our scatter plot with straight lines and markers. And just like before, I'm going to get a blank white canvas to start with. Just make that a little bit bigger. And we always start by adding some data to it. So we're going to select the data, and we're going to get this window that we've seen before. We don't really have a baseline condition in this type of plot. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our first type of data. And if we look at the data we have here, we have increasing session numbers, and then we have some measurement of behavior. This looks like rate. So we're going to name the first type of data we're going to give it, and that'll be the control condition. And now we have to give it some x values, and we'll give it all the x values. And then just like before, we need to give it all the y values. And all the y values for control are going to be the ones right underneath. You should copy all of them, even if they're blank. And I'll show you guys why. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to add individual series for all of the remaining types of data, and I'll show you why. And we're just going to do the same exact process for each type of data, where each series has its own name and its own y values, but it shares the same x, the same x data. And that's because they're all pretty much happening at about, they're happening over the same timeline. Demand, x values, y values, and our last one is this alone condition. And we'll see right now that this really looks like a scatter plot. We don't really see any lines connecting this data, which is odd because we'd expect it to look like our original plot down here. Now there's a reason for that. In these types of plots, Excel is only going to want to link data that's next to each other. So if we look up here, it makes good sense that it connects all of these data because they're all adjacent to one another. It's not going to try to connect points that are far apart here together because it's going to see that there was a blank spot in that data, kind of like how this was. So it's not going to try to connect when there are these blank spaces between. But there's a way to work through that. I'll just give you an example of how Excel might behave. We'll see that it'll connect it if they were next to each other. So there's a way to get around that. And we just need to tell Excel that this blank space isn't a number or a type of data that it should pay attention to. So we're just going to hit the equals button and say NA, and then give it the little parentheses. And that formula just tells Excel that just ignore this space. This isn't data. Just kind of keep on moving forward with your calculations. And what we're going to see is it doesn't really do a whole lot. Oops. But if we fill in all of these blank spaces with these NAs, what we see is Excel is going to it's not going to see that blank white space, and it's going to try to connect these points even though they're far away. So we're going to do that for all of these blank spaces, because in this case we want to connect everything even though they're far apart. And you can copy and paste this NA number. That's okay. Alright, so we see in this, right now we have all of our points connected to each other, but it really doesn't, it's in the format that we want. It's in a scatter plot with lines, but it still really retains this same style that Excel has by default. So in our next tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to start styling this type of plot to more closely resemble this type of more professional display. So stay tuned to the website and the channel, and that's what we'll pick up next time.